Hello everyone and welcome back to the good stuff. We are continuing our 1858 match between Johann Jakob Löwenthal and Paul Charles Morphy, and of course Löwenthal is still hoping to win the match and to show the world that he's better than Paul Morphy. And some of you said, well, not some of you, I remember one comment in the comment section asked that how do we know that Löwenthal actually challenged Morphy to clear his name or to show that he's better. Well, here is a small part of David Lawson's book that talks about this matter, so I'm just going to read it. Morphy had met Löwenthal during his first week in London, when the latter was still smarting from Staunton's publicity in May about his defeat in 1850 by a boy not yet 13. So we've covered this match, their 1850 match between Morphy and Löwenthal. Löwenthal thus lost no time in proposing a match to clear the score between them. He doubtless thought the chances of winning were in his favor after having observed the Morphy play during his first week or so in England. Morphy had not yet recovered completely from the effects of the voyage. In fact, the match was delayed a few days on account of it, and then further, and so on and so on. So here it clearly says that, well, maybe not so clearly, but it says that to clear the score between them. Now, whether this is something that actually happened, or is this maybe David Lawson's observation of what happened and then he decided that that's what took place, I have no idea. But I think it's safe to say that, of course, Löwenthal wanted to show everyone that he's better than Morphy. In those days, honor was everything. And if you're wondering about the title of the video, what kind of a mouse slip can occur in 1858, well, you give me a better explanation of a move that occurs in this game. I dare you. So without further ado, let's check it out. Löwenthal with the white pieces opens with e4. Sorry about that. And like I said, this is game 7. Out of the first 6 games, Morphy won 5 and Löwenthal only 1. So let's see if this could be another turning point for good old Johann Jakob. We have e5 by Morphy, as he usually plays. We have knight f3, d6, going for Philidor's defense. And now d4. We have captures and queen captures, and now bishop to e6. Knight to c6 would be pretty much an automatic nowadays, but Morphy preferred to delay moves like this, maybe to catch his opponent off guard, maybe to use it afterwards, maybe after more pieces were developed, or maybe to provoke white to maybe go for some weaknesses that are not actually weaknesses. Who knows why Morphy did stuff like this. So okay, knight to c3. Löwenthal continues development, and a6 now. We have bishop to e3, and now knight to c6. Now chasing away the queen, queen d2, and the knight to f6. And you're going to see this game is played really well by both sides, especially by Löwenthal. And this is something that happens in a lot of game between Morphy and his contemporaries. So let's see what happens here. Rook to d1, and it is as of move 8 that this position has never occurred again. We have bishop to e7, Morphy is ready to castle now, and bishop to e2. Löwenthal does the same. We have castles, and now b5, preparing b4 to dislodge the knight, maybe to pick up the e4 pawn. So of course Löwenthal stops this. He plays a3. We have knight to e5, and now, well, you could trade this and help Morphy develop. Instead, just knight to e4. Declining this trade, Löwenthal says, I want to play f4, kick away your knight, gain this c6 square for my knight, which will be awesome. So Morphy says, no, you're not. He pushes the knight away. We have c5 and forces this trade. So captures, giving up the bishop pair, but in return gaining a massive center here. So f4, pushing the knight away, knight to g6, and now just bishop to f3, improving the position of your, well, we could say of your least active piece. So this is an excellent move. f5 might be preferable to some, but bishop to f3, a very nice move. The rook is now being x-rayed, e5 is the threat. So of course Morphy moves the rook, rook b8, prepares b4 at some point, and queen to e2 now, getting the queen out of the d file, preparing e5 yet again. And here queen to c7. Morphy moves the queen away from the d file, and this is the position from the thumbnail. Well, we're almost there. One more move. Where white has an excellent position. He's doing incredibly well. It's a really open position. White still has the bishop pair. He controls more space, and all in all, he should just slow play it and slowly but surely improve his position with moves like g3 and so on. Maybe shifting his queen away, grabbing the hold of this diagonal even more, and well, basically you need to play anything here other than what was played in the game. So you need to prepare for b4, stuff like that. And you do have excellent control of the d5 square, so black will always have troubles executing d5, and these 2 pawns might become weaknesses in the future. So here Löwenthal plays h4, and there is no good explanation for why someone would play this move. So you play h4, okay, obviously you're preparing to push this pawn to h5, but what happens after the pawn is captured? So Morphy asks the same question. He plays knight captures on h4, and now says, and then, and okay, we have bishop to g4, going after the pawn here, probably hoping Morphy will mess up with moves like, hard to say, putting his queen maybe on a weird square, but Morphy just captures it, and after captures, again, this is attacked, so you need to be careful not to mess it up with something like this and allow this, let's say, bishop captures. But Morphy says, okay, just queen to c8, and still, what is your plan here? So my knight is defended, the pawn is defended. What did you gain with this, well, with this sacrifice? And here we have g3, and this is really weird. So the h-pawn sacrifice might even be justified if you played something like f5 here to take away the g6 square from the black's knight. It still doesn't work, but we might say that, okay, maybe the pawn sacrifice is okay. But just to show you why it doesn't work, black continues with his play on the queen side, b4, captures, he pushes away the knight. So first a nice mate threat, and now, that's a weird arrow, so after the mate threat has been made, bishop f6, defending mate, and now knight to e2. And here we can just play e captures on f5, e captures on f5, and well, it seems like white has definitely made progress, and that the pawn sacrifice is justified. Black can just go knight g6, and the knight is back in the game. You cannot capture because the pawn is pinned. So black gets the knight into the game, and all is well. But it would be a reasonable move to play here. So here g3 was played, allowing Morphy's knight to come back into the game right away. We have knight to g6, and now rook to f2, preparing to double up rooks on the f file, and also b4 is coming, so you do want to have a ready defender of the c2 pawn. Morphy says, okay, rook f6, I'm going to add another defender here, move my queen, probably double up rooks on the f file, and well, everything depends on what you do next. We have rook d to f1, and now just b4. We have captures, and knight to a4 now. So the c2 pawn is defended nicely, that's fine. But now queen to c6 by Morphy with a double attack here on the pawn and on the knight. b3, you cannot defend against both, and Morphy just captures it. So grabbing yet another pawn, and also attacking the bishop. We have bishop to a7, attacking the rook, and now just rook b to f8. Now doubling up on the f-file, we have rook to e2, pushing Morphy's queen away, and queen to b7 now. Getting the queen out of harm's way. Also, the bishop is under attack. We have bishop back to f2, and here, well, black's position is just terrible, but, you know, feel free to pause the video and win this game for Morphy. It's an instant win. Well, I give you a couple of seconds. So for those of you who were able to do it, congratulations on spotting the immediate resign. And for those of you who just want to enjoy the show, any move wins here. E5 wins, H5 wins, so you can pretty much play any move because the position is winning. But the move Morphy played, knight captures on f4, it's an instant resign. And it is in fact in this position that Johann Jakob Löwenthal resigned the game, as there is nothing more to be done here. The point is, let's see what happens if you capture the knight. If you capture the knight, just rook to g6 and the queen is lost. There's nothing you can do about that. If you don't capture the knight, well, then your rook is hanging, but also there's the threat of checkmate, just queen to g2. So you cannot defend against both threats. You cannot even stop checkmate. You cannot play queen f3. You cannot play queen to h3. You could play queen captures on f4, but that's also just... giving up the queen, and you don't really gain much by doing this. So after knight to f4, white is really without a move, and of course it was in this position on move 28 that Johann Jakob Löwenthal resigned the game. So very, very nice victory. Game 7 also goes to Paul Morphy. So it's 6-1 in Morphy's favor, and Löwenthal not very close to, getting his revenge for losing that match to Morphy in 1850. But yeah, that's the game. I do hope you enjoyed it. Really weird stuff that happens to Morphy's opponents. I mean, it all started with Barnes, but you can see that it's a reoccurring theme with all of Morphy's opponents. They understand the basic principles. They know that they need rapid development. They need to place, rooks on open lines. They know they have to place their pieces well on the board. But then when they have to find a reasonable plan on how to continue playing this game, like here, like a move like G3, or just keep everything solid, this is where they fall apart, and this is where Morphy got most of his easy wins. But it's not Morphy's fault that his opponents play moves like this. I mean, if your opponent plays a bad move, of course you're gonna take advantage of that. But later on, Morphy will face some very much stronger opponents who will not make mistakes like this, and then it's gonna be very enjoyable to see how Morphy deals with them. But yeah, all in all, that's the game. I do hope you enjoyed it. A mouse slip in 1858, as you can see. I mean, if you have a better explanation, I'm all ears. I would like to thank Matt Reichenbach, Peter Wadek, Marko Lepušić, Kevin Walker, and Alexandre Honore for a contribution to my channel. Thank you a lot. I really appreciate it. As usual, you can check two of my previous videos here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon, continuing the coverage of the good stuff, checking up on your wonderful suggestions, and whatever else happens in the chess world. So thank you all. I will see you soon, and have an excellent rest of your day.